Mathew here. Today I'm going to do a wire wrapped ring with some gemstones. I've used roundels and some round crystals as well. It's a pretty simple ring. I was just sort of playing around and I came up with a few different styles. This is a carnelian, this is a rose quartz, and or actually I think it's just a clear crystal. And then the last one I did was a ruby and a crystal. First thing you're doing, I'm working with a 16 gauge, but you could also work an 18 gauge wire. I'm just going to straighten it, wire harden it a little bit, so it's going to be stiff, because I'm not going to be hammering this ring. And after it's fairly stiff, which it is now, then you're going to, I've got two roundels here. They're about 10 millimeter, just a clear crystal roundel. And so I'm going to gauge my circle on each end. I'm going to make a loop on each end, and I'm going to gauge it to be about the same size as my roundel. Okay, and I'll show you why that's important. Just going to take my pliers and I'm going to make just a bit of it. It doesn't have to be perfect, because again, you can always adjust this. You're going to do one on each side. So I'm going to do one like that, and then on the other side I'm going to go the opposite way. Okay, so just on the opposite side. Okay, so this is what I have so far. Now, they look a little small, but that's okay. We will figure that out in a minute. So now I'm going to take my wire, and I'm just going to mark it sort of where I want to be for the size that I'm working with. And it's going to be pretty much the exact same size that you want it for, but it's also, remember, keep in mind, because it is an open ring, it can be adjustable. So just wrap it around. I think I'll make about an 8. Wrap it around. And then I'm going to have one pushed up and one pushed down. And again, this could be adjustable. So if you wanted to have more of a space there, you could push it down and make it a bigger size. It's not a big deal. Okay? So this is what we have so far. And you can always reshape that back on your mandrel, so not to worry. And again, if you want to use a dowel, that's fine too. Now that you have it off your ring mandrel, what you want to do is you want to close these circles as much as possible, okay? And you know, that way, when you're wrapping your wire around it, it's not going to slide off. So now I'm working with 10 millimeter carnelian beads, and like I showed you, they fit in fairly good. You can use a roundel like I have here. This is a fat roundel. Or you could also use a round crystal or a round gemstone as well. Okay, so just stabilize a piece of wire. So you're just going to leave a little tail, and then just kind of, I'm working with about half a foot of wire, and that really is gauging. You can gauge that on how much, how big your bead is, how much wrapping you want to do. So that's kind of your choice. So you can use more or less. And so just about 3 wraps, I think, and that will sort of keep it in place. And then you still have that tail there, so what you do with that is you're just going to, I like to use all the wire if I can, and just wrap that around a few times to get rid of it, and then whatever's left over you can just trim back. And as you're wrapping, the big deal here is that you want to keep your loops sort of pushed together, and it's okay if they're not pushed together right in the beginning. You can just come back with your pliers like that and just push it together. I'm just going to trim that last little bit back. Okay, now that's done. Push all the wires in to make sure nothing is going to poke anybody. Now push it up to the center. Okay. Put your bead on, and if you notice, it's sort of gonna fit in there pretty good. Okay. And now you're gonna go on the other side just a few times. And when you're doing your bead, remember that it's sort of like a tire way, like upwards like that, rather than flat. Okay, so just another one, and you see it's still a little bit wiggly, and that's okay, because we're gonna get that in better shape. Now I'm just going to take my wire, I'm just going to wrap it around once, twice, 3 times. Go to the other side. And it doesn't really matter where you start to wrap again, as long as you're sort of getting close to the coils. You can go on the other side, wherever your wire hits, kind of thing, it would be fine. And if your wire ends up slipping between the wires that you just wrapped around, that's absolutely fine. There's no problem with that at all. It will in fact probably just hold your bead a little bit better. So, okay, so you're just going to do a couple more of these. Here. Alright, push them together, and then just go back to the other side, just once around all the way, and then just right in there. And you can go around as many times as you like. This is not, there's no specific amount of times. It's really how you want it to look. Now that we're there, what you can do is you can take your wire and you can just bring it down like that, and then just start to wrap the rest of it around the base of your ring. Doesn't really, like, this is not essential. If you wanted to just cut it here and then just say that's what you wanted to do, that's fine. But this is just another way to do it. And what you could do if you really wanted to is to continue all the way around to the other side. So I'm just going to do a little bit, kind of use up this wire a little bit, again pushing with my fingernails or with my pliers. And you'll notice that the ring came out of place, and that's okay, because like I said, we will put it back on the mandrel afterwards. Okay, so just trim that, and I will do the other side, and I'll come back and show you how to finish the ring. All you have to do now is you have your ring made, is you want to put it back on your ring mandrel. Again, it's adjustable, so you don't have to be so strict about what the size is. And you can just, this is when you can just sort of put it in place. Now if you really wanted to hammer it, you could, but I think it's fine just the way it is. And then that would give you your finished ring. And they're actually pretty cool because they can go right sort of in the middle of the finger like that. And that concludes the tutorial. I hope you liked it. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, and comment, and keep all your questions coming. I love them, and we will see you next time. Thanks for coming. Bye for now.